Okay, listen up, because this story comes in blazing like a fire alarm going off in the middle of the night. The Braxton sisters are out here giving the whole world a front row seat to chaos, and Brat just dropped something about Birdman that has Toni Braxton completely shattered. This situation is so wild it almost doesn't feel real. The street's been whispering, but today they're straight shouting. I've covered Braxton family drama before, but this one right here breaks the scale. We're talking about secrets so deep, betrayals so raw, and now Debrat stepping into the mix with information that nobody saw coming. The type of situation that makes you sit up straight like, hold on, what just happened? So grab your snacks, tighten your seatbelt, and brace yourself, because this tea is boiling over and everyone is watching. First off, let me set the stage for what's been happening with the Braxtons lately. Word all over the streets, and not just one street, the whole neighborhood is buzzing. Is that Tamar Braxton allegedly crossed the line with Toni Braxton's husband? Yes, that's the claim people are dropping like it's nothing. Her sister's husband. When this first hit my ears, I legit froze for a second. Please, somebody say this is just a rumor gone too far, because who even expects something this wild to pop up? But the deeper I looked into it, the messier everything started to look. Every corner you turn in this story has another twist waiting to trip you up. And trust, this is only the opening chapter of the madness. So how did this whole storm break loose? Apparently, Tawanda Braxton reached her limit with keeping quiet and decided to let the world know exactly what's been happening. She didn't hint. She didn't tiptoe. She dropped the whole situation like a mic hitting the floor. And ever since she did, everything's been spinning. Here's where it gets even crazier. You know how good of a sister can you be for you to know this information and not tell it until someone makes you mad? Like, you didn't tell Toni about Tamar sleeping with her ex until Tamar calls you out for being a thief, which you've been a thief before, so Tamar telling this wouldn't be that too far-fetched. And Toni, she's not taking any of this well. Not even a little bit. Think about it. Dealing with your partner being around other women is already stressful enough, but having drama come from inside your own family? From someone who's supposed to be one of your closest people? That hits different. That situation alone is already crossing every line imaginable. But when it comes from your own sister, that hits with a level of betrayal so deep, it feels like the floor dropped out from under you. There are barely enough words to describe how heavy that kind of wound is. And Tamar, honey, she is scrambling. You can see it all over her face. She never thought this secret would see daylight. She thought it was locked away forever. But Tawanda came in like, not today, sis, and cracked the whole thing wide open. Now the connection between Toni and Tamar looks damaged in a way that feels permanent. It's like watching a bridge collapse in slow motion. Once it snaps, there's no easy way to rebuild it. But wait, because Dabrat just entered the chat with something nobody was ready for. Dabrat, who's been around the industry for decades and knows everybody's business, recently went on record about Birdman and his whole situation with Toni Braxton. Now, if you don't know the history here, let me catch you up real quick. Toni and Birdman had this whole relationship that was public, private, complicated, and everything in between. They were engaged, not engaged, together, not together. The whole thing was a roller coaster that had fans dizzy trying to keep up. But according to Debrat, there was way more happening behind closed doors than anybody knew. She's saying Birdman was playing games that nobody was aware of. The kind of games that would make any woman question everything. In her recent interview, and she wasn't holding back at all, Dabrat talked about how Birdman would have Toni thinking one thing while he was out here moving completely different. She said, and I quote from what insiders are reporting, that he had Toni believing they were building something real while he was still entertaining other situations on the side. What makes this even more painful is that Toni was allegedly all in. She was talking marriage, talking future, talking about blending families and creating something lasting. Meanwhile, Debrat is saying Birdman had a whole different agenda. She mentioned specific instances where Toni would be at home waiting for him, planning their life together, while he was out at industry events acting single. The part that really got people talking was when Dabrat brought up the money situation. Apparently, there were some financial arrangements between Toni and Birdman that nobody knew about. We're talking about investments, business deals, and promises that were made but never kept. Brat suggested that Toni put more into this relationship financially than anybody realized. And when things fell apart, she didn't just lose a relationship. She lost a lot more than that. Now, sources close to Toni are saying she broke down when she heard Brat putting all this out there. Not because Brat was lying, but because it was all true and she never wanted it to become public knowledge. Sometimes the truth hitting the public is worse than any lie could ever be. One insider who spoke on condition of anonymity said Toni felt completely exposed. Here she was trying to move forward, trying to heal from everything with Birdman, and now Brat is out here opening wounds that hadn't even started to close yet. But here's the thing about Brat. She doesn't just talk to talk. When she speaks on something, there's usually receipts behind it, and apparently she has plenty when it comes to this situation. She mentioned text messages, recordings, and witnesses who saw everything go down. She's not just throwing allegations around, she's coming with evidence. The timing of all this is particularly brutal for Toni. She's dealing with the family drama with Tamar, trying to figure out how to navigate that betrayal, and now she has to relive the Birdman situation all over again in public. It's like she can't catch a break. What's really sad about all of this is how it's affecting the entire Braxton family dynamic. These sisters have been through so much together. The loss of their sister Tracy, health scares, financial struggles, relationship drama, and they always seem to find their way back to each other. But this situation with Tamar allegedly being with Toni's man, that's different. That's a line that once you cross, you can't uncross. The family has always been messy. We've seen it play out for years on reality TV. They've fought in front of cameras, behind cameras, on the phone, through social media. Everywhere they go, drama is already there waiting. But when sisters turn on each other like this, that's a heartbreak with long-term damage. Family ties don't always bounce back from hits like that. And now with Brat adding this layer about Birdman, it's like Toni is getting hit from all sides. She's finding out that the people she trusted most, her sister, her former fiancé, weren't who she thought they were. There's also been talk about how this is affecting Toni's music and her career. She's supposed to be working on new projects, planning tours, doing the whole artist thing. But how do you create when your personal life is in complete chaos? How do you sing love songs when love has betrayed you this badly? Industry folks are saying Toni has pushed back several appearances and recording sessions. She's taking time to process everything, which, honestly, who could blame her? This isn't just regular celebrity drama. This is deep, personal, family-destroying type of stuff. The response from fans has been intense too. Social media is divided between people supporting Toni, people saying Tamar couldn't have done this, and people who think Brat should have kept quiet. But the majority seems to be on Toni's side, especially women who understand that kind of betrayal from a sister. One fan wrote on Twitter, "Toni Braxton deserves so much better than this. That woman has given us classics, been through health issues, financial problems, and still stood tall. For her own sister to do this, that's unforgivable." Another person commented, Brat didn't have to expose Birdman like that, but maybe Toni needed to hear it. Sometimes the truth has to come out for healing to begin. But here's what's really interesting. Neither Tamar nor Birdman have directly responded to these allegations. Tamar posted some cryptic messages on Instagram that could be about the situation or could be about something entirely different. She wrote something about people believing lies and not knowing the full story, but she didn't specifically address what Tawanda said. Birdman, on the other hand, has been completely silent. No statements, no posts, no responses to media requests. His team isn't talking either, which sometimes says more than words ever could. Meanwhile, Toni herself hasn't made any public statements, but sources say she's devastated. She's reportedly been leaning on her other sisters, Trina and Tawanda, for support, but even that's complicated because Tawanda is the one who exposed the Tamar situation in the first place. The whole thing is giving pure chaos energy. Every time you blink, there's another development, another revelation, another piece of the puzzle falling into place. And none of it looks good for family unity. What makes this even more complex is that the Braxtons have always been in the public eye. They've made their living sharing their lives with the world, but some things were supposed to stay private. Some secrets were supposed to stay buried. But when you mix family, fame, and betrayal, nothing stays hidden forever. Brat dropping this bombshell about Birdman right now feels intentional. She could have said this at any time, but she chose now when Toni is already dealing with the Tamar situation. Some people are saying Brat is being messy, but others think she's trying to show Toni that she's been betrayed by more than just her sister. The financial aspect that Brat brought up is particularly interesting. If Toni really did invest money into her relationship with Birdman, expecting them to build something together, and he was out here playing games, that adds another layer of betrayal. It's not just emotional, it's financial too. There are rumors that Toni might be considering legal action, though nobody knows if that's against Birdman for the financial stuff or if it's related to something else entirely. Her team isn't confirming or denying anything, which is probably smart at this point. What's clear is that Toni Braxton is going through one of the hardest periods of her life, and it's all playing out in public, which makes it even harder. She can't even process her pain in private because everyone is watching, commenting, and picking sides. The entertainment industry can be brutal like that. Your personal pain becomes public entertainment. Your family drama becomes content for blogs and YouTube videos. Your heartbreak becomes trending topics and hashtags. But at the end of the day, we're talking about real people with real feelings. Toni Braxton is a legend in the music industry, but she's also a woman who's been hurt by people she loved and trusted. Tamar, regardless of what did or didn't happen, is now in a position where her relationship with her sister might be irreparably damaged. And Birdman, well, his reputation is taking hits from multiple angles. The Braxton family has survived a lot, but this might be their biggest test yet. Can sisters come back from this kind of betrayal? Can Toni forgive and move forward? Will the family ever be the same? Only time will tell, but right now, things are looking pretty dark for the Braxton sisters. The family that once seemed unbreakable is showing cracks that might be too deep to repair. As for Brat, she's said what she had to say, and now she's watching like the rest of us to see how this all plays out. She dropped her bomb and walked away, leaving everyone else to deal with the explosion. This whole situation is a reminder that fame and money don't protect you from heartbreak. If anything, they sometimes make it worse because your pain becomes public property. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone thinks they know what you should do, and everyone is watching to see what happens next. For Toni Braxton, the road ahead looks difficult. She's got to figure out how to heal from multiple betrayals while the whole world is watching. She's got to decide if family relationships can be salvaged or if some bridges need to stay burned. And she's got to do all of this while maintaining her career and her health. Because let's not forget, Toni has lupus and stress is not good for her condition. The support from fans has been overwhelming, though. People are sending love, prayers, and encouragement to Toni from all over the world. They're reminding her of her strength, her talent, and her resilience. Because if anyone can get through this, it's Toni Braxton. She's survived worse and come out stronger. But right now, in this moment, she's human. She's hurt. And she has every right to be. So, what do you think about all of this? Can the Braxton sisters recover from this drama, or is this the end of their relationship as we know it? And was Brat right to expose what she knew about Birdman, or should she have kept quiet? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to stay updated on this developing story. Because trust me, this is far from over.